New York and Philadelphia, a tale of two cities. And when it comes to the Yankees and Phillies, it's been a tale of two seasons.
An absolutely awful stretch of baseball by the Yankees.
In the Bronx, life without Aaron Judge has proved difficult to navigate. A team once thought to be the favorite in the American League, the Yankees have struggled to hold the line in the absence of their captain. And with the status of the three-time MVP still very much in question, every series is paramount for the Pinstripes as the trade deadline looms.
The ninth inning magic strikes again.
100 miles to the south, it's a former Yankee great that has resurrected a Phillies campaign once left for dead. Donnie Baseball has helped to correct course in the city of brotherly love, taking the wheel from Rob Thompson and straightening out the ship after a 9-19 start. The championship window remains open, and the Phils have fought their way back into the playoff picture. Hopeful that the All-Star game isn't the only classic to hit the bank in 2026.
Just when you think they're down, the boys are firing on all cylinders now.
With the second half of the MLB calendar now in full swing, two clubs with aspirations for October collide in a rematch of the 2009 World Series. Friday Night Baseball from Philly starts now. For the last month, the sports world has been centered on Philadelphia, the World Cup, the All-Star Game, LeBron James, and out tonight, Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Verilux Lenses from Citizens Bank Park. The New York Yankees and the Philadelphia Phillies take center stage tonight. Bryce Harper, now a 9-time All-Star, a 2-time MVP in the National League, trying to lead the Phillies to the promised land, and Cody Bellinger, not too far removed from being the All-Star Game MVP right here in Philadelphia, hoping to lead the Yankees back to the top of the AL East. They're two back right now, though, leading the wild card race in the AL, trying to catch the Rays for first place and the top record in the American League. As for the National League, the Phillies are in a similar boat, 4.5 behind the Braves for first in the NL East, amidst the wild card race as well in the National League. Alongside Dontrell Willis, I'm Wayne Randazzo, and D-Train, as we make our way now toward the postseason, the trade deadline not far away, the Yankees and Phillies with a lot to play for.
We have a sprint on our hands. They've been tailgating out here since 2 o'clock, Weezy. You can feel the environment, you can feel the energy, and like I love to say, plenty of firepower on both sides.
There's a lot of firepower, including the pitching matchup, Cam Schindler and Jesus Luzardo for the Yankees and Phillies tonight. But these two teams have certainly had to go through some things this year. The Phillies, a rough start, 9-19 to begin the year, but they're great fighters here in Philadelphia. They were able to shake it off. They did make a managerial change. Rob Thompson was let go. Don Mattingly takes over, and it's been a fight for the Phillies ever since.
I asked Donnie Baseball, what did you do differently? He said, absolutely nothing, D-Train, but also getting Zach Wheeler back into that rotation, added stability, and then all of a sudden the firepower you see on this great scene started to get their foot down and barrel baseball, and all is well in Philly land since then.
And if you feel like you've seen this movie before about Philadelphia fighters, well, you're right, you have. As the Phillies did make a managerial change like this 4 years ago. Rob Thompson took over for Joe Girardi. They went to the World Series. They're hoping for the same under Donnie Baseball.
You know what? You have to stay healthy in that rotation. Also, Bryce Harper has to play like the 2-time MVP we know and love.
Don Mattingly, a Yankee legend, facing the Yankees here tonight. They've been without Aaron Judge, talking about going through things. Well, how about life without your best player?
That is tough to sustain that without the best player, arguably in all of baseball. You see what he can do, power to all fields, and Giancarlo Stanton is a nice complementary piece. But once you lose those two guys, man, that's the teeth in that lineup. And you see their lineup right now starting to struggle a little bit. To me personally, I feel like they're starting to press up and down that lineup. But Aaron Boone definitely believes in this roster, and he says, I want to see these guys grind the pitcher down a little more. You see Bellinger starting to chase out of the zone a little bit more. He was great up until this last month, but I think they still have a chance to really rally it around and get a chance to this offense to get, with that talented rotation, into the postseason.
It just hasn't been the same without Judge. Under 500, they have not been scoring, barely being on base for the rest of the hitters in this lineup. It's been a struggle, to say the least, for the Yankees offensively, but they're very much alive, and Judge should be back at some point this season.
Well, you see that firepower they also possess in that rotation. They're going to be fine. Somebody just needs to emerge out of that offense.
The trade deadline about to emerge Monday, August 3rd. Get your deals in. It's coming soon, and we'll have Heidi Watney break down what's ahead coming up.
Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Verilux Lenses, and welcome to the city of brotherly love for a rematch of the 2009 World Series, the Phillies against the Yankees. Could this be a preview of this year's Fall Classic? Earlier this season, that didn't seem possible, but the Phillies have battled their way back into the wild card hunt, and that's where we stand. 10 days from the trade deadline, both of these teams sit in second place in their division, both looking to add this trade deadline. Both have long-tenured front office managers in Brian Cashman and Dave Dombrowski, the head of baseball operations, and neither one has shied away from making the moves they need to when necessary. Last year, Dombrowski went out and got the best closer available. Johan Duran has continued to shine in that role here in Philly. Cashman, well, he had more work to do to fill needs. He brought in 3 proven bullpen arms, including current closer David Bednar, while adding some much-needed right-handed hitting options in the infield. So what can we expect this year? Philadelphia reportedly looking for a starting pitcher and possibly some outfield help. New York could use some offense, particularly at catcher, with their captain Aaron Judge still sidelined. The Yankees have scored more than 5 runs just twice in their last 30 games. One thing we know for sure, these two teams are going to be in the thick of things over the next 2 months. So what will we see here tonight with 2 of the best on the mound, Cam Schlittler and Jesus Luzardo, from the bank after this quick break?
Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear, born for the track, built for the street. As we come to you tonight from Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, the Yankees and the Phillies opening up a 3-game interleague series, a rematch of the 2009 World Series, and a rematch of the 1950 World Series, too. Don't forget about that one. The Phillies are about to take the field. Brandon Marsh, all-star outfielder, standing by with our Heidi Watney.
Yeah, Brandon, first-time All-Star this year. What's been key to your success this season?
A lot of everyone around me has been a huge, helpful, supportive staff. It's been my teammates, my family, the staff, and really just me being just dumb enough.
All right, well, we're 10 days from the trade deadline. Your team has battled back to get to this point to be buyers. What makes it difficult, though, this time of year?
It's just the games just get a little bit more intense, and I feel like as us players, we love that. And I feel like that's the reason why we wake up and we train, we grind, we play the game. So, just the weather going to get a little colder here after post-summer, and the game just mean a little bit extra.
All right, thanks, Brandon.
I wanted to give a shout-out to my sister. She just won the USA Track and Field Championships in New York. Thank you for making me look like the worst athlete of the family. Love you, Aaron. Congrats.
I love that. Congrats, Aaron. Thanks, Brandon.
At least he's telling the truth. He's not bad himself, though.
Brandon Marsh making it to the All-Star game for the first time in his career this year. One of 6 Phillies that were represented right here at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. A great host for this year's All-Star game, all surrounding America's 250th birthday. And it was an incredible event to witness, the All-Star game here in Philadelphia.
Well, the energy, the environment, the Phillies fans, and really the fans all around the country traveling to this beautiful ballpark. One of my favorite ballparks to ever pitch in. The fans just seem like they're on top of you. They're really into the ball game, and so not a better event that you could have in this ballpark.
It certainly was a spectacle, the All-Star game. As we said in the open, well, the World Cup was just here. The All-Star game was just here. Now LeBron's in town. LeBron James is signed to the 76ers, and the Phillies are trying to bring the World Series back here to Philadelphia. And this is a guy who could help lead the way. Jesus Luzardo paired with Zach Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez. That's as formidable of a rotation as any team will have in October.
Well, we talked about it in the pregame show. This rotation leads all of baseball in swing and miss, and you're going to see why. High velocity, great execution, and really plus secondary stuff. Very important. When they won championship in this ballpark, they had a talented deep rotation to pair with that offense. And you're going to have to see that this year if they want to do that again.
Well, Luzardo with the 143 strikeouts in 115 innings this year. Friday Night Baseball, as we bring you our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. He just started throwing the sweeper last year. Now it's his predominant pitch.
Well, it's a nasty pitch, and he can throw it to equalize the right-handed batter as well as the left-hander. He does have a lot of velocity with that four-seam fastball, so he keeps him off it. But if he lands that sweeper for a strike and gets swing and miss, it's going to be a tough cover as well as that changeup that falls away from the right-handed batter.
Our Car Shield scouting report, Luzardo limiting hard contact in a lot of cases, especially when he throws that sweeper, limiting contact period. He has about a 50% swing and miss rate on that sweeper this season. A first-time All-Star. You know, he and Schlittler both were first-time All-Stars. Luzardo felt it was very important to him to pitch in the All-Star game and represent the Phillies here in their home stadium. Schlittler decided not to pitch in the All-Star game, as the Yankees lineup is brought to you by BetMGM, with Goldschmidt leading off. Ben Rice has carried the weight of the offense with Aaron Judge out. Cody Bellinger has done his part this year as well. He was the All-Star game MVP here about 10 days ago at Citizens Bank Park. I found it odd that Schlittler did not participate in the All-Star game, whereas Luzardo thought it was his duty to do so.
Representing the home field, I understand the importance, but if you're looking on the other side of it, you just want to be able to stay healthy because you know you're such an important piece in that rotation. So two different views, and I understand both sides of it.
Swing and a miss by Paul Goldschmidt as we get started here tonight. Goldschmidt playing first base, as he often does when Ben Rice and he are both in the lineup. There's a strike as that sweeper swings in there, and it's 0-2. For about a month, Goldschmidt was hitting the daylights out of the ball. The Yankees held serve for a couple of weeks without Judge, as Luzardo deals ball one, but it's been kind of a team-wide slump outside of Rice ever since the last few 3-4 weeks.
Well, Paul Goldschmidt at the top of the lineup, hitting .337 against left-handed batters this year, and I love that move by Aaron Boone. But Aaron Boone talking about he wants to see his batters grind the pitcher down, and you're not seeing that right there. That nasty backdoor sweeper from Luzardo. Those right-handed batters are going to see a ton of that pitch, but that's exactly what Aaron Boone talked about. Going down way too easy, allowing the pitchers to be efficient and going deep in the ball game and getting to that nasty bullpen.
And that puts Goldschmidt now 6 for his last 60 with 24 strikeouts in that time. So the woes continue for Goldschmidt. Now Ben Rice takes a high strike. Rice has been the Yankees' best hitter this year without Judge. He's been one of the best hitters in all of baseball. 30 home runs now and .956 OPS. Kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, he started to perform in the second half of last season. He had a good year last year. Just in general, this is a kid they found out of Dartmouth. Wasn't necessarily a high draft pick. And here he is raking, as Aaron Boone puts it. Here's a bouncer to first as Harper flips to Luzardo, and 2 quick outs. The Phillies' defensive alignment. This is a team that's been maligned defensively. 42, negative 42 defensive runs saved this year, which is the lowest figure in the major leagues.
Very important to be able to show the ability consistently to catch the baseball, especially in such a hitter-friendly ballpark. You know, one of the best to ever do it, Donnie Baseball. You know, he was one of the better defenders in his generation. A Hall of Famer in my opinion, but defending at a high level, very important.
This is Ahmed Rosario playing third base today and fouling one off. Don Mattingly was a 9-time Gold Glove winner at first base, a 6-time All-Star as a Yankee, and of course the MVP of the American League in 1985. Here's a grounder off the bat of Rosario. Well, no issues for the Phillies defense in the first. Trey Turner handles that, and it's 1-2-3. Sure, the lineup for the Philadelphia Phillies brought to you by BetMGM with Kyle Schwarber in the number 2 hole as the DH, hitting behind Trey Turner and in front of Bryce Harper. Brandon Marsh in the cleanup spot. Alec Boehm hitting 5th. Stott Real Muto for the Phillies in there as well. Justin Crawford playing center field. A lot of lefties against Cam Schlittler here tonight as Schlittler gets the start for the Yankees. A 2.20 ERA to begin his season. It's been nothing short of outstanding, and right now you'd consider him the favorite for the American League Rookie of the Year. It's been a little bit bumpy though lately for Schlittler as his first pitch is ball 1 to Trey Turner.
Comes in to start today, ranked first in the AL in ERA and WHIP, and second in Ks and innings pitched. So he is a horse, and he has really developed in a big game pitcher.
He does have a 4.70 ERA in his last 4 starts. He was around 1.5 for the season up until then. 1 ball, no strikes on Turner as Schlittler misses with ball 2. It's going to be the 3 different types of fastballs: the cutter, the 2-seamer, the 4-seamer, and I guess he'll throw a breaking ball in there every now and then, but not often. That's close, and the Yankees won't challenge this early in the game. 3 balls, no strikes on Turner, who's turned things around for himself offensively lately.
Good sinking action, but good job by Turner to take that pitch even though he's ahead in the count.
It's 3-0. And there is the first strike from Schlittler. Turner hitting .311 since June 17th. That's when Don Mattingly put him back in the leadoff spot. We saw the Phillies last in that little window of time when Schwarber was leading off again. Now full count on Turner as Schlittler has put himself back in the count.
Turner with 200 home runs, 300 stolen bases. Only Jimmy Rollins and Derek Jeter have done that in the shortstop position.
And his 200th home run earlier in the week. Certainly some Yankee and Philly connections with the other 2 shortstops that have done it. As Turner strikes out. Schlittler with that fastball up in the zone, 99 miles an hour, gets so many swing and misses on his fastball.
You know what? That's this life and explosion. You can see the cutting action at the top of it. Turner's thinking that ball's going to be sinking, and then all of a sudden it cuts at the top, and he's like, woo, man, that ball got on me in a hurry.
Schlittler, as we take a look at our CarShield scouting report, as we said, he has dropped back down to earth a bit here lately, but still the Cy Young frontrunner as of now. As Kyle Schwarber hits one toward the left field line, Bellinger is chasing it and makes the catch. Actually in fair territory. Even though Bellinger crossed the line into foul ground, and that ball landed, it would have landed fair.
You see the athleticism. He did not panic, gave a little glance to see how much room he had before he hit the wall, and that baseball had a little bit of tailing action coming back into the fair territory, but the focus, and he says, oh, I'll take that. Easy money. Especially one of the most talented power hitters in the National League.
2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the first, and now Bryce Harper, the batter. The doors open to the Phillies clubhouse today, and every single media member ran to Harper. And I said, what's happening? But it was because of LeBron James that everybody wanted to hear what Bryce Harper had to say. Strike 1 to Harper, a 13-year contract that he signed with the Phillies back in 2019. And, well, for a long time, he was the prize free agent in town. Now King James has arrived, and maybe Bryce Harper can relate in some ways to LeBron James being the new figure in town that's going to garner a lot of headlines and attention.
First of all, I got to order that black LeBron James Sixers jersey. That is a classic to go with my old school Allen Iverson shoes. But in a sports town like Philly, where they have a lot of passion for all their sports and seeing the team successful, that is a big pickup. For just $8 million, that's light.
2 years.
That's right.
Swing and a miss by Harper, strike 3. Nothing light about Schlittler at 100 miles an hour. Both pitchers with easy top and bottom of the first. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV presented by Essilor. Learn more about Verilux XR series and find your local Essilor expert today at Essilor.com. And in part by Firestone Complete Auto Care. Get more life out of your car. 1, 2, 3 in the first for both of these all-star starters. Luzardo with a strikeout. Schlittler had 2. And it might be tough on the batters here tonight.
Yeah, this one you need to really bear down and focus and try to get yourself in hitter-friendly counts. Just try your best to eliminate pitches, but with the velocity and really the secondary pitches, it's going to be a tough one on both sides.
Cody Bellinger leads it off here in the second. 4th Yankee to ever be the All-Star Game MVP. Pitching was pretty good in the All-Star Game, too, last Tuesday. National League never scored. American League got 3 in the first off Christopher Sanchez, with Bellinger knocking in a 2-run single, and then Ben Rice had an RBI. And that effectively was the scoring in the All-Star Game. So Bellinger was given the game's MVP award. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the Yankee left fielder, who has hit really well in the Bronx this year, but not so much away from the Bronx. He bounces one foul here. A 981 OPS at home, 578 on the road. Right now would be the second largest gap in Yankee history. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bellinger fouls one back.
Talking to Aaron Boone, he said some of the bats that he sees from Cody Bellinger, he has athletic ability to get bat to ball and really shorten the swing, especially with 2 strikes. But of late, he's trying to create and really chasing out of the zone and getting himself in trouble.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Bellinger is jammed a bit here as he pops it up. Realmuto behind home plate. Just could not reach it up against the screen. As it hit the screen first, and it's a foul ball. Still 2-2 on Bellinger.
Not going to deduct 2 points from the fan because he had something. Also, he has those powder blue Phillies jerseys. Those are legendary.
Now the Phillies are wearing their City Connects tonight, which aren't. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count on Cody Bellinger. We'll ask Luzardo about it. He fouls it back. You know, Luzardo has struggled here at Citizens Bank Park, at least the overall numbers. He's been better lately. But he said he couldn't really figure out why, and he said, you know, I don't like the City Connects that much. Maybe that's why. Well, I understand.
He's got a 6.1 ERA at home. That's the 6th highest in Major League Baseball.
It's been better lately. He's just been unbelievable lately. Over his last 10 starts, the Phillies have won all 10. Luzardo during that time is 6-0. A career high winning streak for the still pretty young Philly left-hander. Bellinger battling here, still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Cody doing a good job thus far, having the velocity down of that sweeper. Sardo might have to change the eye level or go inside with that sinker. Your belly, you're just hoping that he hangs that.
He swings and misses, strike 3. Now hanging on that breaking ball from Luzardo is a tight spin to strike out Bellinger. 2 outs on strikeouts for Luzardo. This was Harper striking out to end the bottom of the first inning, and then he had a little conversation with John Tumpain, the home plate umpire. It looked like he was pointing to the batter's box being somewhat off kilter how it was drawn. This is Jason Dominguez fouling one back.
Well, you know, Wayne, we like to watch a lot of sports at home, especially in the offseason. You know when somebody messes with your remote.
Does this look all right to you? What is it, too far in front?
I don't know. I was on the mound, Wayne.
Yeah. Mister, I hit 9 home runs. Now all of a sudden you have nothing to say about the hitter.
I wasn't looking at the line. I was looking at who I was pitching against, hitting against. Man, Roy Oswald's a tough cover, Wayne.
Understood. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dominguez, the switch hitting outfielder with some time in right field now that Aaron Judge has missed close to 2 months Judge's last game was May 31st, and Dominguez is down on strikes. Luzardo just whipping through the Yankees so far. 5 up, 5 down with 3 strikeouts.
Now he's being aggressive, not only showing that he can land that sweeper for a strike, but get the depth change. But the reason why these right-handed batters are out in the front, because you have to honor the velocity. He has 95 to 98 miles an hour, so you got to get yourself ready. If you pick wrong, you can swing and miss just like that.
Here's Volpe grounding one. Harper has that, and Luzardo just bursting through the first couple of innings tonight. 25 pitches to get 6 outs.
Tonight's odds are courtesy of BetMGM. Cam Schlittler is leading the odds for the AL Cy Young Award. The Yankees starter has had a breakout season. Last week, he went on Mookie Betts' podcast and talked about how he gets motivated. He said before each start, his mental performance coach will share a clip. Could be inspirational, but for him, it's often negative feedback. He said after a rough start against Detroit, he showed him some social media messages, basically telling him he was trash. He used that as motivation to go out and shove, feeds off the negative energy. D-Train, were you like that?
Yeah, but I was trash.
Please.
Brandon Marsh takes ball 1 in the bottom of the second. Marsh, a first-time All-Star, just like Schlittler. I mentioned it earlier. Schlittler decided not to pitch in the All-Star game. You got to pitch in one in 2005. You were a 2-time All-Star. Also your rookie year in 2003. But in 05, you got to pitch in the actual game. What was that like? And as you look back on it, would you have rather had the 2 or 3 days off?
No, I wanted to play. First and foremost, got to be on the field with a childhood friend and very popular player as Jimmy Rollins, and I have a cool photo of that. But also giving up a home run to Mark Teixeira and then meeting him at the bar, and he's hugging my mother. So that was a great story as well. But to say to be on the field with the best in the world, and you know, I never was a guy that was assuming that I was going to go to an All-Star game again, because I never did. But you know, I always wanted to be a part of the festivities, and really it wasn't just about me, it was about my family as well.
2 balls and a strike on Brandon Marsh, and Schlittler had his reasons for not participating in the All-Star game. And he was here in Philadelphia. He did take part in the lineup and the introductions and all that, but just elected not to pitch in the game. He may have started the game had he been available to do so. Dylan Cease was the starter instead for the American League. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Marsh. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
The reason why, Wayne, he's so talented, being able to have the tunneling of vision of that fastball, all coming out of the same hand slot, arm speed, everything, but you see the movement late in life. And so now the hitter has to make a decision on where that barrel needs to be able to square that up. And that is a tough cover, especially at the movement and the high velocity he throws all 3 of those fastballs.
StatCast powered by Google Cloud. He'll throw one of those 3 pitches over 90% of the time. As Alec Bohm, it's a squibbing ground ball. Caballero diving play from his knees. He throws out Bohm.
Yeah, Del Frisco's on me. You make that play behind me like that. Great focus, great range. Knew he had the arm strength and really threw a palm ball. Bang, bang play. I love that. High-level defense at its finest.
Kind of leaned on that back leg to give him some extra strength, as he was not only down on the ground but off balance at the same time. Beautiful play by Caballero. We have yet to see a base runner so far tonight. Bryson Stott will give it a shot with 2 out, nobody on here against Schlittler. It was a little bit more than a year ago when Schlittler made his major league debut, July 9th of last season. Aren't you supposed to struggle a little?
That's not written anywhere. But you saw, especially the way that he commanded that fastball. If you look at all the starts, that start he had against the Red Sox in the postseason, he could have threw 19 innings and the result would have been the same. With that cutting action at the top of the zone, they could not do anything, and really the mound presence really jumped up from there.
It was one of the great rookie performances in postseason history what Schlittler did against the Red Sox last October. And now you see his ERA since his major league debut. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball right out of the gate. 12 strikeouts, 8 scoreless innings against Boston.
You know what I like about him? He really pitches with a chip on his shoulders. I believe that he finds motivation to prove everybody wrong in every pitch. Twice already I've seen swing and miss, and he's shaking his head. That's not where I want to throw that ball, even though I got a positive result.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Bryson Stott. And another swing and a miss, strike 3. Schlittler has fanned 4 already. Well, 2 innings, and we have not seen a base runner. 2 excellent pitchers on the mound, and we'll have another one join us on the broadcast. Garrett Cole at the top of the 3rd. Welcome back. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Verilux Lenses. Phillies aflutter as LeBron is in town. They have welcomed the king of the NBA to the 76ers.
The Kang, not the King, the Kang. We'll work on that, Wayne.
Yeah, well, I'll get that right for you. Here's Trent Grisham on the first pitch in the top of the 3rd, bouncing out to Bryson Stott. Garrett Cole joins us here in the top of the 3rd inning. Garrett, what motivates you when you see the other starting pitcher rolling through the lineup and then the other guy comes out and goes 1, 2, 3 as well? Do you get into that back and forth?
Absolutely. It's a great pitching matchup. So, and the first game of a series, so it's easy to lock in for something like that.
Garrett, nice to see you back in the big leagues, man. I love watching you pitch, but I saw something from you being back in the back leg, and we got a challenge right now. Hope it's not from the pitcher, because we don't get those right, Garrett.
Take a look at the challenge. It's a strike.
Nice. That's good.
Philadelphia has 2 remaining.
But I saw you make an adjustment getting back in the big leagues, going over your head, getting yourself downhill. Is that the reason why? This is a timing mechanism?
Yeah, I thought that I just really liked the flow of it when I first started messing around with it, and thought it might be helpful for my tempo, really, and I just kind of stuck with it since then.
What are some things that you worked on that you wanted to come back and do as soon as you were able to, from a health standpoint?
Throw strikes. That was my main focus for a good portion of my rehab.
How are you able to sustain the velocity in such a big career? I mean, you've thrown many innings, many big games. I went from 91 to 83 so fast in my career. What is it that you do in the offseason or really in the regular season to sustain that?
Man, that's it.
That's a secret question. Pitchers are us. We'll talk about that off camera. I apologize. I know the rules.
No. I mean, I first of all, I'm very blessed to be able to, just have the frame and the body to be able to do it. And I put a lot of hard work in. And I'm really forward thinking about those things. Really, maintaining velocity and maintaining health in the long term. I put a lot of eggs in that basket early in my career, and I think it's paying dividends.
You didn't know we were going to play Stump the Cy Young winner here today.
That's all right. That's all right.
Cam Schlittler gives you a lot of credit for some advice that you gave him as he was starting to go through it last season and start to put up all these strikeouts, and just that advice that you gave him about how to throw that pitch, the cutter, harder and at the top of the zone. Why did that stand out to you, and why do you think it's been so successful for him?
I think, when we were trying to tackle the issue of just being more competitive in the strike zone with a secondary pitch, and then especially in attack counts for him, his slider was missing below the zone quite a bit, and just honestly just tweaking the grip a little bit to kind of shorten the breakup somewhat, to give him a little bit more control, allowed him to find the strike zone, and then ultimately, consistently hit the top third of the strike zone where it's really super effective. So some of that was just by chance, I think, and sets up well with his natural arm stroke.
Aaron Boone's one of my best friends. Love what he does in your locker room. Can you tell me this about his communication style? Because the only time I see him really angry and see that vein come down that forehead is when either y'all struggle or he three-putts on the golf course.
I mean, he you know, he'll pop the vein for an umpire or two. I've seen him do that, to be honest. But he's so steady. His presence is. That's not going to make it.
No,
his presence is, I mean, we look to him a lot of times just for how he goes about his business.
All right, Garrett, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This weekend, Formula One will be just outside of Budapest for the Hungarian Grand Prix, the final race before the summer break. The championship battle continues at one of F1's tightest, twistiest, and technical circuits. Watch it live Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern on Apple TV, the new U.S. home of Formula One.
Oh, somebody owed me some tickets. Still waiting to hear from him.
Well, these Philly fans really got a hold on one another here at Citizens Bank Park tonight. Don't you agree?
Yeah, but city brotherly love. Wherever you want to go with that.
JT Real Muto leads off the bottom of the third. We have yet to see a base runner tonight. 9 up, 9 down on Luzardo's side. 6 in a row set down by Schlittler, who has struck out 4, and JT Real Muto down 0-2.
The occasional breaking ball. Excellent of being able to follow that swing. The lineup has seen a lot of fastball, cutting action, sinker, and all of a sudden changing eye level and velocity, very key. Put that wrinkle in the back of the hitter's mind.
Real Muto hitting .219 on the year. It's been a step back for him offensively. Phillies catchers and Yankees catchers both have not been very productive from an offensive standpoint this season. Phillies are kind of locked into Real Muto. The Yankees could be a little bit more creative at the trade deadline, but there's another swing and a miss by a Philly batter. Strikeout number 5 for Schlittler, who has set down 7 in a row.
Yeah, being able to change that eye level, slowed him down with the breaking ball. All of a sudden, that fastball at the top of the zone, so enticing. A little bit of a four-seamer, but a natural cutting spin. You can see that, but the ball backs up. So even if you guess right, tough to get on top of that pitch.
One out. Here is the right fielder for the Phillies, Gabriel Rincones Jr. As he takes ball 1, one of 13 different outfielders the Phillies have used this season. Adolis Garcia had been in right field, but he's out now with a lat injury. They have used all sorts of different mechanisms to try to find a right-handed batter who can produce. Derek Hill has done well since joining the Phillies from the White Sox, but it feels like the Phillies have some holes they can patch up, and one of them right now would be in their outfield.
For a long time, to talk with Byron Buxton, being able to look in the Phillies uniform. You imagine him in this ballpark, not only defensively but offensively. Good pass right there.
Rincones does have some prospect status, 25-year-old outfielder. Justin Crawford hitting in the number 9 spot behind him is yet to really get it going offensively as well. Rincones chases a ball in the dirt for strike 3. Rare non-fastball from Schlittler, but it gets the same result. Another strikeout, another swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts for the young right-hander, who is halfway to where he was in the postseason last year. That wild card game, the winner-take-all against the Red Sox, struck out 12 in just 8 innings. Most strikeouts by a Yankee rookie in a postseason game. He was electric that night in the Bronx.
And this is how I know I'm getting old. This young man was in my house eating all my gummy bears years ago, and now he's in the big leagues, looking just like his father.
It's Justin Crawford, the young center fielder of the Phillies, son of Carl Crawford, who played for Don Mattingly when he was ending his career as a Dodger. Justin is 22 years old. So you were already a big leaguer when he was born.
Absolutely. And he had high energy and speed when I was trying to chase him around the house. And I think as he develops, you know, he hits the ball on the ground 55% of the time, you know, and he's going to learn how to really elevate that and really have some line drive power. But love his route running, love his aggression, and you know, this is baptism by fire being in the big leagues, especially in this market.
There's a little roller that Schlittler handles, so this continues on for both starters. 9 up, 9 down through the first 3 innings.
It is time for a Sage Manager interview here with Don Mattingly. Jesus Luzardo, been pretty good tonight. What's working for him?
Oh, everything, pretty much. He's got a good fastball tonight, uses a sweeper and a changeup. So this game looks like it could be a quick one.
It is moving. Your team has really taken off since you've taken over. I talked to a couple of players. They said you've injected a lot of energy into this group. What's the biggest thing you've learned over these last 2 months?
Just to be myself, really. You know, taking over is not a good spot when you got for a friend too. So just being myself, let the guys come to know you, and just try to get us playing consistent baseball.
All right, thanks, Don.
Got it.
Don Mattingly takes over for Rob Thompson, who took over for Joe Girardi. Here's Goldschmidt with a fly ball to right. This is deep. Rincon is back, and it's gone. Goldschmidt to the opposite field, the first base runner, the first hit, and the first run tonight.
That's exactly why he's at the top of the lineup, Wayne. He's done a lot of damage in his career against left-handed pitchers. Finally gets himself in a hitter-friendly count. He's going to be aggressive, eliminates that sweeper, and gets on top of that one with a fastball Oppo Taco. You hear those Yankee fans, they travel.
Well, this was a nice and close one for them. Of course, the Phillies' main rival in their division is the New York Mets. Those are always spirited affairs in both ballparks. With the Yankee fans coming here to Philadelphia and making some noise after that opposite field home run by Goldschmidt. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ben Rice, and somebody with a bat in their hands breaking through after each starting pitcher has retired the first 9 in a row tonight. Luzardo gives up the home run. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Rice.
Head down through the baseball, easy swing. Luzardo provides enough velocity and power, almost like a half swing, but that's how strong he is.
Ben Rice is down on strikes. 5 punch-outs now for Luzardo.
He said, well, I'll take it.
It's the 10th home run given up by Luzardo in this ballpark this year. He's only allowed 1 on the road. Strike to Ahmed Rosario.
Very difficult place to pitch. It is a hitter-friendly ballpark, especially the warmer it gets.
Line to center, and Crawford right there. Barely had to move for the second out.
But that's why, if you look at their rotation, you need guys with swing and miss. Sanchez, Wheeler, obviously Luzardo. You need that weapon in this ballpark if you want to be successful.
Cody Bellinger moves out of the way from ball 1. Yankees strike first here in the top of the 4th. Paul Goldschmidt, who had been 6 for his previous 60, punching out that home run to right. But well, Aaron Boone doesn't have too much of a choice with Judge and Stanton out, especially against the left-hander. He needs Goldschmidt to produce again. 2 balls and a strike. Stanton will be back before Judge, most likely. They do expect Judge back at some point this season. They're still waiting for that rib fracture to heal, and it hasn't fully healed, and he's not fully pain-free yet.
And the later to the year it gets, obviously there's going to be a ton of urgency, because not only you want him to have that proper movement and not re-injure himself, but you need timing, you know, to go into the postseason.
Ball 4 to Bellinger. Judge had that toe injury a few years ago. The Yankees have not performed well without him, but it is an enormous swing with Aaron Judge and without. I don't know if any one team relies on one player the way the Yankees do on Aaron Judge.
That's won multiple MVPs. You're definitely going to be leaning on him, and not just the power, but the bat-to-ball skills and the ability to get on base and take pressure off the rest of the lineup, having the ability to play freely around him.
Here's Dominguez, who struck out his first time. And around the league, maybe Cleveland, with the way they rely on Jose Ramirez, can even be comparable, but just seems like for the Yankees, having Judge missing time is catastrophic for them in a way that it isn't for any other team with any other star player.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's rare since I've been following baseball. They've always seemed to have depth, especially in the position player department.
It's going to need to be a time here in the not too distant future in which the Yankees are going to have to think a little bit more about life without Aaron Judge. Not even from a contractual standpoint, just from an age standpoint. He'll be 35 next year. And you figure, although maybe Judge is so superhuman that maybe he can last up until he's 40 as being a dynamic star player. But as he gets deeper into his 30s, will that start to catch up to him? Will he be less effective or more injury prone?
Well, you're going to definitely have to monitor the standing out there, being such a large human. And can you DH him? Can he be successful in that DH role?
Runner going, and throw down to second by Real Muto is in time. Bellinger didn't get a great jump. Real Muto is so quick out of the crouch, and Bellinger caught stealing to win the inning.
Gave a glance. He looked like he got in there. Bang, bang play.
Yankees will challenge.
Oh, I don't think so, Weezy. What you think?
I think he is probably going to be called out after this. We'll take another
New York
look.
is challenging the out call at second base.
Replay review is powered by Zoom. Let's see here if that foot does get in.
Oh.
It's hard to tell when the foot touches.
Stop kicking up so much darn dirt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now that from that angle he looked safe. But from the other angles it was harder to tell. We'll see.
Well, JT Realmuto still has one of the best pop times in all of baseball, and he really didn't like that pitch received and still made it bang bang.
Yankees generally steal a lot of bases as a team. This is about as close as it could be. From this angle he looks safe though. Not by a lot.
Is it enough to overturn it? Excellent pop time from Realmuto.
Realmuto has long been one of the best in baseball at that, especially since they started tracking it. The Yankees among the major league leaders in steals as a team. This would be their 99th of the year if it's overturned.
I like how everybody's standing on the field. Usually it's a little more conviction on both sides, but that play was so close.
Still waiting to hear. The crew chief is Chris Conroy. He's the first base umpire.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is out. New York loses their count.
Yeah, we see that a lot with those plays that are safe on one angle, out on another. They just end up saying that the call on the field is what's what. And Bellinger's out to end the inning. The Yankees take the lead. Paul Goldschmidt, an opposite field home run. It's 1-0 New York.
Time for a Sage manager interview here with Aaron Boone. Cam Schlittler, 6 strikeouts, 9 up, 9 down. What's working so well for him?
Yeah, filling up the zone, getting some early, got a couple early outs in the count, a really good defensive play behind them. Both pitchers are throwing the ball really well, and, you know, time through have been pretty dominant.
You guys are obviously a very different offensive team without your captain. Does the timeline of when Aaron Judge will be able to be back affect what you guys do at the trade deadline?
I'm sure our front office are all over the country are having conversations, trying to look where he can improve. So you never know what's going to happen in the coming days, and we'll see. We expect our captain back at some point this year, but we got to win games in the meantime.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
Trade deadline is 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, a week from Monday. So we're getting there, and teams will have to decide, those teams that are on the bubble, if they're in or out, or if they're at least into the point where they want to acquire players or keep their players, or out to the point where they don't.
Well, with that extra wild card system, it feels like even teams that are sub 500 still have a chance, and you really don't want to send that tone to your fan base that you're basically mailing it in, giving up some of your key players.
Trey Turner leads off here in the bottom of the fourth, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. I mean, you're right. But still, some teams do, and some teams will point to the realistic chances of, let's say you're the Padres right now. You're right around 500. You're not even in one of the 3 wild card spots right now. So are you realistically, do you have a chance to make the playoffs? Yeah. But do you have a chance to win it all?
Right. And that's the decision that you have to make, and be honest with yourself. If your ownership and some of your high-ranking front office members, and you're right. And you look at the Detroit Tigers, and that's why that's been a hot conversation, because the arbitration situation, and now he's back healthy, and Turk Skubal.
Turner with a ground ball to short. Anthony Volpe plays that quickly to first. 1 out.
So do you keep him, or do you chance it that he's going to walk out of there with nothing? But David Dombrowski, he traded for me for a box of sunflower seeds, and it ended up working out for Miguel Cabrera being a Triple Crown winner and a Hall of Famer. But that man right there is a gunslinger. He is not just going to stand packed. And with the backing of ownership and where they are and the age of some of their core players in the 30s, you have to strike right now.
That was the deal of the winter meetings when you and Miguel got traded to the Tigers. Kyle Schwarber takes ball 1.
I was in Mexico. I couldn't understand, but I saw my face up there. I was in Cabo, like, that's me. The next thing you know, my phone is ringing. I said, I'm going to stay in Cabo for a couple of days. It's snowing in Detroit. I waited on that press conference. But, yeah, it's fun. It's enticing. But with some of these key pieces, Wayne, the value shoots up, because you're not just going to have 1 or 2 bidders. Everybody's going to be able to get in and out if they feel like they have a chance.
And every team's going to want bullpen help. Certainly the Phillies will be making calls for that. 2 balls, no strikes as Schwarber lays off a pitch upstairs, and it's 3-0. Been a lot of talk, too, about the Phillies trying to get a 5th starter. They still haven't even named their starter for tomorrow. Their 5th starter spot is a combined 5-20 this year, but you don't need a 5th starter once you get to the playoffs. You do need some bullpen, though, and the Phillies, I'm sure, will try to beef up that pen. It seems like every year they're in need of better arms in the bullpen. They got Duran last year from Minnesota. He's worked out tremendously, but they're going to need some help getting to him late in games this October as it goes to 3-2 on Schwarber.
The Phillies bullpen coming in today has a 4.4 ERA. That's the 4th highest in Major League Baseball.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Schwarber. The Phillies are 17-2 in the game started by Wheeler, Sanchez, or Luzardo since June 15th. 1-12 in the games not started by those guys. So do they need a starter? Well, maybe to get through the regular season, but they certainly need relievers for the postseason. Schwarber lines one to the gap in right center. The Phillies have their first hit, and it's an extra base hit. Kyle Schwarber has a 1-out double.
I like that little DJ move right there. Sense of love in the dugout. Great job by shortening the swing. 3-2 count. Oftentimes you want to try to tie that ball game up with one swing, but he shortens it. A cutting action down in the zone and doesn't try to get too big on that swing. Excellent hit by the veteran. Doing a little remix on second.
It's only the 11th double for Schwarber. Most of his extra base hits end up somewhere in the seats.
Damn.
Sometimes way up in the seats. He's in scoring position for Harper, who struck out his first time tonight. Schlittler has 6 strikeouts, 2 in each of the first 3 innings. Since the All-Star break, Phillies haven't hit much with runners in scoring position, just 186. 1 ball, no strikes on Harper. Bouncing ball to Rice at first. This will move Schwarber to third base, but that's the second out of the inning.
The Phillies are successful in those wins. Bryce Harper hits over 300. When they lose, 160.
Here's Brandon Marsh, who struck out his first time up. Marsh has slipped of late, played a lot against left-handers this year. And has set his batting average back a bit lately. Just lately he's struggled against left-handers. Strike 1 in there to Marsh. There's 3 hits in his last 22 at bats. For a while, Marsh was hitting in the 300s, was at or near the top in the National League in batting average. He's fallen way behind in that category now, with the likes of Otto Lopez and Luis Arraez still hitting well over 300. Marsh having a respectable year, to be sure. An All-Star, 291 is still his average for the year.
So when he's locked in, that ball is barreled, especially missing him up in the zone. You have a chance to drive the baseball. Over his last 16 ball games, hitting 143. First 82 games, 319. Little bit of a cutting action, but you got to be able, if Cam makes a mistake, you got to put that ball forward and play.
16 homers this year. Marsh tied with his career high from 2 years ago. A swing and a miss. Another high fastball from Schlittler gets a punch out, his 7th tonight, and he strands Schwarber at third. New team, new characters, same Ted. The 2-time Emmy-winning comedy returns for a new season, with Ted taking on his biggest challenge yet, coaching a 2nd Division women's football team. Don't miss Ted Lasso Season 4, streaming August 5th on Apple TV. Who has more Emmys, you or Ted Lasso?
They've been balling, and I've not seen one episode. I am slipping. I gotta get into that.
Jason Dominguez chops one foul to lead off the 5th. That doesn't answer my question, though.
I don't know. I've been winning for a long time, Weezy.
That's right. Take a seat, Ted.
Oh, man, you're going to get me in trouble.
No balls, 2 strikes on Dominguez. The Yankees took a 1-0 lead in the top of the 4th. Paul Goldschmidt hit a home run. Kyle Schwarber doubled in the bottom of the 4th. The Phillies left him at third. It was the only hits so far through the first 4 innings. And a good pitcher's duel here between Luzardo and Schlittler.
If you're Luzardo right now, your main focus right now is just continuing to bear down, put up zeros, get back in the rhythm, and continue to be aggressive.
Ground ball sharply hit and through. Base hit for Dominguez. Leadoff man on for the Yankees here in the 5th inning.
You're that Yankee offense, and you're looking at Cam Schlittler. You like, just give him 1 more, maybe even 2. Luzardo making a mistake with that fastball, catching too much of the middle of the plate. Dominguez not trying to pull that baseball, going right back up the box. Very important for him to stay in the center of the field.
He's hit safely now in 12 of his last 13 games, 5 in a row, and Anthony Volpe bats now. It's not uncommon for Luzardo to be roaring through the first few innings and then begin to stumble. A 1.65 ERA in the first 3 this year and a 5.37 ERA after the 3rd inning. Well, he has not had many stumbles lately. 2 balls, no strikes on Volpe.
Some of the command starts to get away from him, sharpness, and also second-guessing yourself on the mound. You know, just because you're successful with one pitch, you have to force those hitters to make and show the adjustment. Sometimes on the mound, we second-guess ourselves and end up throwing in the zone or a pitch that we don't want to.
3 out of the zone here to Volpe, and now Luzardo in some trouble after the leadoff hit. Behind in the count to Anthony Volpe, 3 balls, no strikes. Volpe missed a lot of time early in the season. And a torn labrum, took several weeks to come back from that.
For Anthony Volpe, you're looking at something dead red to try to drive.
It's this one hard, and it skips past Turner off his glove. Dominguez holds up at second base. Turner tried to smother that. But Volpe hit it a little too hard for Turner to handle.
Being aggressive, gets that foot down early. Catches a little bit on the end, but hits it hard. And it's to Turner's left, and he knew that was going to be a short hop. Overextended his arm just a tad, and it caught it off the thumb.
Haven't seen a scoring on that yet. Turner does have 15 errors this year. His defense came into focus earlier in the week, and he was making errors and hitting homers all in the same game against the Dodgers. Here's Grisham with a fly ball to shallow left. Quick first out after what is ruled another error on Turner, his 16th now for the season. Grisham makes an out on the very next pitch, and that puts runners on first and second with 1 out for Caballero. We talked about the Phillies defensively earlier with the worst number of defensive runs saved in the major leagues this year. They're also the worst at turning ground balls into outs. Only 69.6% of the ground balls hit against their pitchers have turned into outs this year. League average is over 73%. This has not been a very strong defensive infield this year.
Well, Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley would definitely like to have a word. Very important to be able to be successful with the ground balls in this ballpark.
1 ball, 1 strike on Caballero, who's doing his pre-pitch routine. Gotta make sure he's looking up at the pitcher though before that 8-second mark.
I think it's serious.
Ball 2 from Luzardo. Caballero was called into question by first the Pirates and Dennis Santana, and then by the umpires the other day. Had a pitch timer violation called against him. The Yankees have not been happy with what they feel is a bit of unfairness toward Caballero and this pre-pitch routine that he goes through in the batter's box. Two balls, 2 strikes on Caballero. Really, you look at the batter's standpoint of the pitch timer, all they have to do is be engaged with the pitcher at the 8-second mark. And the Yankees say if that's the case, then what is the beef? Who cares what Caballero does before that? There's some language in that rule about deceiving the pitcher.
And if you do have a problem, at least give the team a heads up about the timing of that move. I think that's where Aaron Boone got frustrated, because all of a sudden the umpires were called and notified, the team wasn't, and then all of a sudden he's down a strike.
Caballero swings through strike 3 here. That's strikeout number 6 for Luzardo as we send it down to Heidi.
Yeah, I talked to Jose Caballero. He told me he's done that even back to his days in the minor leagues. He said he uses that moment to take a deep breath and think about his approach in the at-bat. pitch sequencing, if he's trying to move a guy over. He admitted he also does it to get in the pitcher's head, but it's been his routine. So he said it's going to be difficult for him to try and stop, but obviously he has to, Wayne.
It seems like it. As now we have a hit by pitch as Ali Sanchez was hit here, and that changes the formula in this inning as the bases are loaded for Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, this is a sweeper that was overcooked and looks like it lands on the back of the toe, and this is a good time for a mound visit because this is the one guy that seems to have quality at bats. Has a chance to really break the game open.
Real Muto got hit too off the ricochet there. Caleb Cotham is the pitching coach of the Phillies, and he had the number 9 batter up, a lighter hitter in Ali Sanchez, and Luzardo hit him with the first pitch, so that loads him up, and Goldschmidt will have a chance. This is Caballero on Wednesday when he was called for that pitch timer violation, and what was really described as him deceiving the pitcher, but the pitcher can stand there as long as he wants to deceive the hitter. They can throw the ball in 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 1 second, doesn't really matter. They can deceive the hitters in that regard, but the hitters have a very strict rule in place of when they have to be engaged, and they can't do anything to mess with it. Strike 1 to Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt homered to right his last time, the only run so far in this game. Now he has a chance to bust it open a bit with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
It's a very important pitch for Luzardo, and a good job by Goldschmidt laying off of that. He's looking out over the plate to not drive the baseball the other way.
Ground ball. It's Turner who stabs at that, fires it in time, and that ends the inning. Trey Turner didn't look comfortable, but he does make the play. The Yankees leave him loaded in the 5th. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Born for the track, built for the street. Goodyear drone cam over the city of brotherly love, the Philly skyline in the background, and it's time for our weather report presented by Ricola.
Ricola. Beautiful Philadelphia night. A little warm earlier, Weezy. I'm getting soft on my old age.
You don't like warm or cold now.
Been through it both.
All-Star game here last Tuesday, the World Cup. Had some matches here over at Lincoln Financial Field, or at Philadelphia Stadium as they referred it.
Packed house tonight as expected too, Wayne.
Yeah, Phillies Yankees. A rematch of the 2009 World Series, the last Yankee championship. Yankees also beat the Phillies in the 1950 World Series, in which only 2 home runs were hit the entire series, one by Yogi Berra and the other by Joe DiMaggio. Alec Boehm leads off here in the bottom of the 5th against Cam Schlittler. Inside out swing and a one-hopper right to Caballero. So Schlittler continues to roll. 49 pitches in 4 1/3 innings with 7 strikeouts. Statcast powered by Google Cloud. How Schlittler has gotten it done so far.
Yeah, you're looking at the 4-seamer at the top of the zone and really being able to use that curveball when he feels like that lineup has a beat on the velocity and the movement. But you see 4-seamer, cutter, and sinker. We talked about that in the open. He's going to be able to be confident with all 3 pitches within the strike zone.
Bryson Stott is the batter with 1 out. Talking about it earlier with Don Mattingly and his place as a Yankee legend. He saw the Yankee organization for many years inside and out, worked with many different managers. He mentioned Billy Martin. Said he really liked playing for Yogi, though. He had a really good relationship with Yogi Berra.
Can you imagine all the one-liners on a daily basis? I mean, a legend.
Said Yogi was just really easy to get along with. Understood the gravity of a 6-month season, which I know a lot of players do
Well, Don Mattingly does that. He keeps it simple. You know what I mean? Don't overwhelm yourself on a daily basis. It's a long grind. You're going to have ups and downs. 500, 600 ABs. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that.
There's a one-hopper to short. Volpe stabs at that to keep it in front of him. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th. Send it back to our studio in Sierra Santos.
Hey guys, off to Boston for our other game on Apple TV. Anthony Siegler leading off in the bottom of the 1st inning, and he takes Trey Savage deep. It's a 1-0 Red Sox lead. Wayne, D-Trade, let's get back to you in Philly.
All right, Sierra, thank you very much. The Red Sox have been incredible for the last few weeks. And their 15-game winning streak end against the Orioles the other day, but it has been quite a ride that Boston has been on to get back in the race.
You know, we talk so much on this show about, you know, the struggles of the New York Mets, the struggles of the Philadelphia Phillies in the beginning of the season, but having enough time to change that script, and that's what the Boston Red Sox are doing, because they were one of the teams that struggled, felt like they were going to be sellers. But they said, not so fast, my friend, in that front office. And now you're hearing the urgency and the energy and the Fenway we know and love. And you know, that's the beauty of this sport right here. There's so many games. There's so much time. We've seen epic collapses at the end of the month, you know, in this season. It's fun, and that's why I love the game.
Roller up the middle. Volpe can't reach it. Base hit. 2-out single for Real Muto. The Phillies with a man on and 2 outs. 9-game hitting streak for the veteran catcher. Red Sox 15 in a row. It started at Angel Stadium on July 3rd and didn't end until July 22nd in the back end of that doubleheader against Baltimore.
Well, they be able to beat up on their rival, the New York Yankees, and really getting to that bullpen of the Washington Nationals, and even though their offensive capabilities, but winning games that you expect to win even though you have injuries in that lineup.
Yankees are 2 games out right now in the American League East. But last year they lost out on the division via the tiebreaker against the Blue Jays. Yankees would have to sweep the Rays the next time they play them to have the tiebreaker advantage over Tampa Bay this year. But again, just like it was last year, that will also decide most likely the #1 seed in the American League, which gives you home field advantage throughout, gives you that first-round bye. So it's a big deal to lock down that division title if it's within reach, and it certainly is for the Yankees, and now it is too for the Red Sox.
Give some of your big bats a little bit more rest when they come back.
The ball's 2 strikes on Rincones.
Got Rincones last time to chase that breaking ball. Camp's going to fastball. We'll see if he changes eye level, goes doubles up with that fastball away from Rincones.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Schlittler has struck out 7 tonight. Rincones stays on top of that fastball and fouls it off.
Oh, Wheezy, we had salmon and salad. We should have walked back there, Wayne. Oh, man, I used to go to Ishkabibbles on South Street. Don't put nothing in my gremlin, that lemonade and grape juice, baby.
2 balls, 2 strikes. You can get one after the game.
Yeah, we might. They're not afraid to talk baseball to me. Good eating out here, man.
I don't think they're afraid of anything here.
No, they are not.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get with whiz or without?
Oh, I gotta get it with the whiz too. In the building. Ooh.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Another punch out upstairs for Schlittler. He has 8 in 5 shutout innings. Our pitching decisions presented by Sage as we take you back to Hideki Matsui taking one deep off of Pedro in Game 6 of the 2009 World Series. Matsui had 6 RBIs. And was Jay Happ got victimized too with that extra base hit. So Hideki Matsui Somebody tell him he was about to win the World Series.
Oh, goodness. Somebody calm down our producer in our ear.
Yeah, really.
Flashbacks.
You got that right.
Yeah, they weren't doing that in 03.
Matsui was the World Series MVP in 2009. Yankees 1-6. They have not won since that 2009 championship year. The Phillies won the year before in 2008, and they have not won since. That was only their second championship in the history of the franchise. They won in 1980 as well, with Aaron Boone's father, Bob Boone, behind the plate on that 80 Philly team, as Ben Rice is down for the second time on strikes against Jesus Luzardo. That's the first out here in the 6th.
Jesus doing a good job of getting ahead of their prized weapon, using that sinker. All of a sudden, Rice has to speed up that bat to try to get to that sinker and in on him, and finally throwing a good sweeper.
Luzardo has 7 strikeouts, and here's Rosario looking at a strike. Rosario's 0 for 2. Each team with 2 hits. 1 Yankee hit left the ballpark, though, so they have a 1-0 lead.
Rosario's made a career at hitting lefties, 291 career coming in this ball game, but has struggled this year, hitting only 209 against left-handed pitching.
The ball's 2 strikes, and that's foul tipped and hung on to by Real Muto. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 6th. Here's Heidi.
Wayne, offensively, Yankee catchers rank second to last in baseball in average and OPS. I asked Aaron Boone if the team would consider moving Ben Rice back to catcher. He said they value his offense too much to risk injury or fatigue that comes with the catching position. You saw some of the names that have been linked with the Yankees. The team is likely looking to upgrade at the trade deadline at the catcher position.
Their catching position has been one of the weakest offensively this year. No balls, 2 strikes on Bellinger, and Ben Rice has just become too valuable of an offensive player to tinker with at this point.
You're seeing a young man really emerge as a real power threat, very cerebral, studies the pitcher, and now all of a sudden you're starting to see him hit the baseball with authority and really come into his own. It's so important with big man Aaron Judge down.
Bellinger lays off, still 2 strikes, but now 2-2 count on the Yankee left fielder. Each starting pitcher now with 8 strikeouts in this game. As Bellinger fouls one off his foot.
Starting to see Luzardo's pace pick up a little bit, because now he's starting to feel comfortable with that release point.
Worked very quickly in the first few innings tonight. Slowed it down in the 4th and 5th innings as the Yankees got to him a bit. Loaded the bases in the 5th inning but couldn't score. Luzardo with 7 more strikeouts on that sweeper, now has 90 strikeouts on that 1 pitch this season. 2-2. Little loop toward the left side. Bohm won't reach it. It's a foul ball.
98 on pitch 88. Haven't seen a lot of changeups from him. I really enjoy watching that changeup after a hitter's has seen that hard slide or hard fastball. But Cody Bellinger's made a career of being able to make adjustments with his swing, with his balance, with his athleticism, pitch by pitch, situation by situation.
Two balls, 2 strikes, the count on Bellinger. Walked his last time.
Ooh. He's looking for that slider out over the plate. Luzardo did a good job the pitch before, throwing a 4-seamer inner half, but you can tell that he's clearing and allowing that baseball to travel deep. So he's looking for the off speed, and he's daring Luzardo to try to go inner half.
You'll see Luzardo's sweeper end up there too often. He got away with that. Back downstairs with Bellinger, didn't chase. And now it's 3-2.
See, I've done that before, Wayne. That's from the swing before. You're going to make sure you're going to miss that. Rip it a little harder than you need to miss down. If he chases, he chases.
10th pitch of the at-bat. Bellinger bounces it into right center field. A base hit. Good at bat for Bellinger. Got that pitch count up too for Luzardo, over 90 now. The Yankees would love to get into that Philly bullpen as soon as possible.
Absolutely, and Belly was looking out the whole time. Doesn't get big and doesn't need a lot to abbreviate the swing, but the hole was inner half. And they kept going away from him, and that's why he's able to hit that ball right back up the box, even though it was rolled over on.
Third hit for the Yankees tonight brings up Dominguez, who has one of the hits, singled his last time. Dominguez still just 23 years old. It's not quite yet taken off as a major league player. It's this one in the air toward right, toward the corner. Rincones runs it down to end the inning. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. Official jerseys and memorabilia, hats and hoodies. We have the season covered. Scan the QR code or visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. Field of Dreams game will be taking place in Iowa in a few weeks. The Phillies will take part in that against the Minnesota Twins. Those were the uniforms the two teams will be wearing as part of that Field of Dreams game. Justin Crawford leads off in the bottom of the sixth inning. If they really wanted to be accurate, they'd put the Twins in the Washington Senators outfits. Throw it back to the real old days.
You are one of my favorite historians, Wayne. Never change. Never change.
Ryan McMahon's in the game at third base with Ahmed Rosario exiting the ball game. Justin Crawford leads off here in the bottom of the sixth and slaps one foul.
This is a tough matchup for the young man, and he'll learn how to be able to be impactful. Love that he tried to show the bunt to try to move McMahon in. With that velocity and that movement late, he's going to have to focus on hitting that ball to the left side.
The ball's 2 strikes the count. That's strike 3. The punch out from the home plate umpire John Tumpain, and Schlittler has struck out 9.
This is what you call following the swing. Crawford was late on that fastball out over the plate. We're going to move that fastball inner half and just didn't see it. And you see that hip lock at 99 miles an hour, throws the sinker. Imagine Greg Maddux, but with velocity 10 more miles per hour.
Yikes. 1 out. Here's Turner 0 for 2. Strike 1 from Schlittler, who is 1 strikeout away from his second double-digit strikeout game this year. Fan 13, a career high against the Reds on June 19th. His only other double-digit strikeout game was that game in the playoffs against the Red Sox last year. With 9 tonight, he's up to 154 now for the season. In the American League, Dylan Cease and Gavin Williams are the only 2 pitchers with more. Not much more. Cease is 1 ahead of Schlittler, and Williams is 2. He could pass both guys still tonight. He's only at 68 pitches with 9 strikeouts.
He's been efficient. Talked about that in the open, about how he's going to compete within the strike zone. Easier when you have that type of movement at 99 as opposed to 89, but it's the mentality. Strike 1, strike 2, and try to get him out of there as quickly as possible.
Swing and a miss. There's the 10th strikeout for Schlittler tonight. It's his 3rd career double-digit strikeout game, his 2nd in the regular season.
You see that cutting action in the spin, but it hops up just enough to get above that barrel. But the hitter's eyes feel like they can get on top of that, even if you guess right. And it's like, whew. Man, that's nasty. That's the 2nd face he's made today.
I'm just going to say he's had that face on all night. Remember, he made that error earlier as well. Schwarber with a double in the 4th inning has one of just 2 hits for the Phillies. Realmuto has a single as well. One took a bite out of Sanchez behind home plate.
Oh my goodness. Thankless job back there.
Knocked the mid right off.
I don't know what possesses people to catch.
Somebody has to do it. They pay those guys too. Ali Sanchez, veteran catcher, backing up Austin Wells, or playing alongside him. Wells has not hit much for the Yankees this year after a good year last year. 0-1 on Schwarber. Another swing and a miss. Those whiffs are piling up for Schlittler. His fastball's at the top of the zone. Why is it so difficult? If it's over and over, why aren't the hitters able to pick it up?
Because it's the movement the last 10 feet, and you're trying to imagine where the barrel needs to be to hit it with authority. So at the last 10 feet, you're already making a decision to engage that pitch, but it's either sinking or cutting. And so the Phillies hitters right now are having a tough time just figuring out, do the barrel need to be on front, or do I need to wait on this pitch and hit it the other way?
2 balls, 2 strikes on Schwarber. Schwarber banged one into the gap in right center with that double in the 4th. Just 2 base runners for Philadelphia. Yeah, they have had their own struggles offensively here over the last few weeks themselves. It's not been a very high-powered offense lately in terms of on-base percentage. They have the worst one in all of baseball as a team entering tonight. Just missed, and it's 3-2.
Now you see the rhythm that Sittler and company have. Ooh, that's an excellent take.
Only the 3rd 3-ball count tonight for Schlittler. He has not walked anybody. 3-2 on Schwarber. And a pop-up. It's Cody Bellinger in shallow left. And Schlittler on a roll tonight. 10 punch-outs, 6 scoreless, only 2 hits allowed. Dominating the Phillies.
The newest of kings, coronated by the rules of the ring. Set the prayer, I ain't new to this thing. Holy garments, watch me do it the mink. Give me the crown, give me the crown, give me the crown, give me the crown.
1-0 Yankees. It's the 7th inning in a well-pitched game for Jesus Luzardo and Cam Schlittler. Luzardo's only blemish, a homer to Paul Goldschmidt. Schlittler has 10 strikeouts tonight.
That first pitch, Luzardo went out of the stretch.
He has 8 strikeouts in the game as he gets the corner there, but
Pitch is called a strike, the batter's challenge.
this will be overturned. That was off the plate to Volpe. Quick challenge by the Yankee shortstop, and he'll win this one. Powered by T-Mobile.
Yankees retain.
John Tumpane, the home plate umpire, was the best called 3rd strike in the game. Fierce right-handed punch. We've seen that a number of times tonight. 18 strikeouts between the 2 starters.
Hey, he's been working all night long. Strike 1, strike 2, and we knew kind of coming into this because of the 2 starters stuff that they possess, but also the offense is kind of sputtering around, and it has not disappointed on the mound.
Luzardo is nearing 100 pitches, has only gone past that a few times this year. Jonathan Bolin, right-hander, warming up for Philadelphia. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Luzardo couldn't nab the inside corner there with the fastball. Donnie Baseball is going to have to go to the bullpen soon. 3-2 the count. Swing and a miss, another strikeout. 19 between the 2 starters, 9 for Luzardo. Statcast powered by Google Cloud.
You're looking at the strikeouts. That sweeper, we talked about that in the pregame show. One of the best pitches in baseball, and you see some of those pitches are out of the zone. But he challenged this last strikeout. This was here it is, fastball, mano a mano. I'm going to beat you at the top of the zone.
It's the first time he's done that tonight, Luzardo. And here's a ball right in his pocket off the bat of Grisham. 2 up, 2 down.
Grisham not waiting around. He is not waiting around. He doesn't want to be the strikeout victim.
Has Grisham even taken a pitch tonight?
No, he must got somewhere to go. Del Frisco somewhere.
Well, that keeps Luzardo on the mound here.
But I understand the mentality also, too. He's just guessing wrong. You know, he doesn't want to allow him to get to that sweeper, especially lefty on lefty.
There's Caballero as he swings over top of that. So Luzardo's trying to get through 7 here. Don Mattingly giving him some runway, surpassing 100 pitches now for the night. Season high in pitches thrown is 106. Did that on June 16th against the Marlins. This would only be the 4th time this season that Luzardo completes 7 innings if he can get 1 more out. 2 balls and a strike on Caballero, has struck out both times today.
You know, Donnie Baseball, he's seen these type of matchups in his whole career, and this is an old school type pitching matchup. Let's go out there and match him pitch for pitch. Caballero looks in between. He's late on the fastball, swinging over the top, not really seeing the sweeper as well. Hoping Luzardo makes this mistake elevated.
Caballero, time base stealing threat if he does get on base. At that point, it would probably be the bullpen's problem. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A fly ball to right. This moves Rincones over toward the line. Jesus Luzardo. 7 superb innings here tonight at Citizens Bank Park. There's the Fanatic playing LeBron James. You can make your mark and play as Dontrell Willis. Become a legend at MLB The Show 26. Available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. No Philly welcome quite like a Fanatic welcome for LeBron James, the newest member of the Philadelphia 76ers.
They stay healthy in the East.
Try to knock off the Knicks.
Yeah.
Saw that guy in the Ewing jersey laying on the ground.
He wasn't having that. They wasn't having that.
Looked like Sir Patrick himself in the 1994 playoffs against the Bulls. Bryce Harper takes ball 1. They're playing Bulls music during that whole skit.
Let it go. We got to get home, Wayne.
They were trying. I think they were just making sure we know who the GOAT is.
I'm an MJ fan too, but it's a big day in Philly sports. But they got to get somebody on base to try to take this lead late.
1 ball, no strikes as Harper fouls it off his foot. Think about the last month here in Philadelphia with the World Cup, the All-Star game. Now LeBron has shown up. The Phillies are making their move. All of this is happening, and the Eagles haven't even started training camp yet.
You know what time it is when those Eagles faithfuls come through.
Phillies are hoping to hold off football season as long as possible here as they look to make a run in the National League. 1 ball, 1 strike on Harper. As any run in the National League will go through the Dodgers. The Brewers continue to build a big lead in the National League Central. So it almost seems like it's already set that the West and Central champions of the National League will get the byes, and the East champion will be stuck in that wild card series. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Harper.
You know these fans, though, when Red October shows up and that intensity goes up, uptick higher. Like I mentioned earlier in the ball game, this ballpark, man, they can shake.
It certainly can. 2-2 the count on Harper as he inside outs 1 foul. Phillies are in their City Connect uniforms, but they will take part in the Hall of Fame weekend caps that teams are wearing. As you can see, the Yankees cap, a bit of a throwback hat the Yankees are wearing with the thicker NY letters. Kind of how it looked when Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig wore those hats. Full count on Harper. It makes you wonder about Don Mattingly's Hall of Fame candidacy as Hall of Fame weekend goes through Cooperstown this Saturday and Sunday. Jeff Kent, Carlos Beltran, and Andrew Jones going into the Hall of Fame, but not Mattingly. As Harper takes strike 3. He wanted to challenge it, but he's out.
Previous pitch is called a strike. The batter's challenge.
Strikeout number 11 for Schlittler.
Excellent sequence. You can see, Wayne, the second and third time through the lineup, they're starting to make an adjustment. Usually it's the arm side run, the arm side cutter. All of a sudden now he's starting to throw that sinker inner half to change the eye level. This is a ball. Your eyes are telling you that's a ball out of the hand, and now you're seeing the telling action. It locks you up. You just hope it's below the strike zone.
One out. Here's Marsh, who has struck out twice today.
Ooh, got to hit that one.
Yep.
Gotta hit you're gonna look back on those iPads. I mean, I almost told my age when I say VHS tapes, but it doesn't matter. That's the one cutter right there. Cement mix action. It didn't tail away. Got to be able to barrel that baseball.
Marsh could only foul it off, and now it's 1 ball, 1 strike. And the Phillies here suit left fielder Brandon Marsh. Schlittler now 11 strikeouts, 2 off his career high. You know, sometimes you tout a pitching matchup and it doesn't pay off. This one by far and away has paid off.
I would definitely buy a ticket. I'm glad I got in for free. You knew if they had command not only of the fastball but the secondary pitch, it was going to be tough. And it could be one swing that wins and loses the ball game.
Well, right now it's Goldschmidt's swing in the 4th inning that's the deciding factor. His home run off Jesus Luzardo gave the Yankees a 1-0 lead. The Hall of Fame emblem on his hat. Maybe he gets a call to Cooperstown one day himself.
He's definitely first ballot. I'm sorry. He's been consistent for a very, very long time, and I know we're watching him in the tail end of his career, but those numbers that he put up in a Diamondbacks uniform, oh my goodness.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Brandon Marsh. Put up Goldschmidt's numbers against Joey Votto and Freddie Freeman, the first baseman of his era, and they match up pretty good. 2-2 on Marsh. Fly ball, center field, hit pretty well. Back for it is Grisham, but he has room and tracks it down shy of the warning track. Marsh flies out, 2 down. Our Adobe standout scores. Paul Goldschmidt, will he or won't he be a Hall of Famer? He had a home run back in the 4th inning, the only run so far in this game.
Yeah, being able to cut the swing down, have his sights look opposite field, and how many times have we seen that in any uniform, that type of power and plate coverage from Paul Goldschmidt.
National League MVP as a Cardinal, had some incredible years as the Diamondbacks, won some Gold Gloves there as well. We asked Don Mattingly today if he thinks about the Hall of Fame, if he's bothered by the fact that he isn't in. He said, you know, getting in will not change his life in any way, shape, or form. And he feels like it's all on the table. The numbers are what they are, and if the voters feel like he should be in at some point, he'll warmly accept it. But if it doesn't happen, he's made peace with it.
And I love that, and that's a response from Donnie Baseball that you expect. But being a fan of him, you feel like the impact that he had and the respect he had amongst his peers and the numbers deserves it.
One hopper to Caballero will get Schlittler through 7. Well, he fell down on the end of that play, but everything has gone his way tonight. 1-0, the Yankees preserving their lead over the Phillies thanks to their star right-hander. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV presented by Essilor. Learn more about Verilux XR Series and find your local Essilor expert today at Essilor.com. And in part by PNC Bank, who believes that fundamentals make the highlights possible in baseball and in finance. Our pitcher's duel between Jesus Luzardo and Cam Schlittler comes to somewhat of a close with Luzardo's exit after 7 innings. Jonathan Bolin, the new pitcher for the Phillies here in the 8th. On the first pitch, a bouncing ball foul off the bat of Ali Sanchez. Cam Schlittler has been brilliant tonight through 7. 2-hit shutout with 11 punchouts. Kind of fell off the mound here on the. Ooh, he rolled his ankle.
A little bit of a rolled ankle piece on that leg turning over. And Kind of like when you land on a rebound and roll an ankle, it's scary. It'll break you down.
He walked off the mound fine after he got up. The Yankees bullpen doesn't seem to be in any rush right now. Schlittler at 91 pitches. Luzardo threw 105, one shy of his season high. Schlittler's season high is also 106, which he's done a couple of times. It seems like Aaron Boone will send him back out for the bottom of the 8th. No balls, 2 strikes. Phillies have the bottom part of their lineup due in the 8th inning. So if the top of the order starts to get into the mix, I'm sure at that point we'll see a new pitcher. Philly bullpen has had its issues, but Bolin has done a nice job lately. Last 20 appearances, his ERA right around 1. Just don't have a lot of reliability down there outside the 9th inning. Duran's been incredible. Sanchez strikes out. One out as Goldschmidt bats. Let's go down to Heidi.
Well, I asked Aaron Boone if he thinks Paul Goldschmidt is a Hall of Famer. He said absolutely, no doubt. He's one of just 4 first basemen to win an MVP and 4 Gold Gloves. As you can see, Don Mattingly also on that list. He's got over a 65 career WAR. And Goldie and Jeff Bagwell are the only 2 first basemen in MLB history with at least 350 homers and 150 stolen bases. Yeah, Boone said absolutely, no doubt, guys.
Goldschmidt has driven in the only run tonight, that opposite field home run that he hit off Luzardo in the 4th inning. Leaves after that slider there, 0-2. Goldschmidt, Freeman, Votto, even Miguel Cabrera all in that same category in terms of wins above replacement for first baseman not in the Hall of Fame yet. And none of those guys eligible except Palmeiro. Goldschmidt will be 39 later this year. And still going strong and still fairly productive for the Yankees this year. He's punched out here by Bolin, who has back-to-back strikeouts. Let's go back to our studio. Here is Sierra Santos.
Let's check in on a top target on the trade market in Detroit. Tigers ace Tarek Skubal was lights out, striking out 12 in 7 1/3 innings of work. Tigers on top of the Royals right now, 2-1. Wayne and D-Train, let's go back to you in Philly.
Well, Skubal's been incredible trying to keep the Tigers alive in the AL Central. What are they going to do in a week and a half? One of the main storylines of the trade deadline is how the Tigers will treat it.
Can't get in a situation where he can walk for nothing, and that'll be catastrophic, especially that the Tigers offense, they have a lot of needs, and you can get some high-level guys that can be impactful in this year and the next, especially for an arm like that. And how many suitors that have the minor league capital, guys that are already in the big leagues, you got to be honest with yourself, is that can this roster win the World Series? Simple as that.
1 ball, 1 strike on Ben Rice. Well, they thought they could when the season began. They didn't get off to a very good start, and they're still playing catch up in terms of that. They're still under 500. There's still a handful of games out of first. But they thought they could win a World Series at the beginning of it all, and they're starting to play more like a World Series contender over the last couple of months, really since the beginning of June. 1-2 on Rice. So can they carry that through September, then into October, and make their play in an American League that's wide open? Because there's no favorite in the AL.
See, that's the problem for the AL teams. You know, you're looking at all these teams that have struggled, and especially in this sport, you just got to get to the postseason and hopefully line up your pitching, and somebody offensively gets hot.
2-2 on Rice, who stays alive. And as we heard from Sierra, best of luck to Lauren Gardner, who has moved on from MLB Network and our Friday night broadcasts, returning to her home state of Colorado. We wish Lauren the best.
Pure class. We're going to miss you, Red.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Rice. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, Jonathan Bolin has entered the pitcher's duel, and he strikes out the side in the top of the 8th. Cam Schlittler has been in command tonight. He'll take the mound with a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th. Welcome back. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Verilux Lenses. With Dontrell Willis and Heidi Watney, I'm Wayne Randazzo. We're at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. The pitchers have been the MVPs here tonight. Cam Schlittler and Jesus Luzardo, both outstanding. And Jonathan Bolin enters the mix and strikes out the side himself at the top of the 8th.
Sometimes the pitchers have the stuff, and they have the aggression, and they have the edge, and that seems to be the difference today in this ball game.
Schlittler trying to make it through 8 innings for the 3rd time in his career. This is only his 36th major league start. He has been remarkable so far as a member of the Yankees. Entered today with a 2.48 ERA in his first 35 starts.
That's wrong. That's a bad feeling.
His ERA 2.20 entering today, lowest by a Yankee at this stage in the season since Ron Guidry had a 1.99 ERA in 1978. But now Schlittler's is at 2.08 after 7 shutout innings so far tonight. He's ahead of Bryson Stott. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout, number 12.
Throw the breaking ball, gets Stott off balance, and then all of a sudden you're seeing that cutting action grip tunneling out of the same lane. So you slowed him down and then you sped him up with that cutter at the top of the zone. Excellent sequence.
And Schlittler in interleague play this year, making it seem like the National League still has the pitchers hitting.
I would have got my foot down on him. He wouldn't have been able to not cut out. He would have to throw a wrinkle in that to get your boy out.
Real Muto is one of just 2 men to reach base against Schlittler tonight. He singled in the 5th. Since then, 8 in a row, retired. And a liner toward the right field corner, slicing foul.
Not a lot to celebrate for the Philly faithful thus far, because Cam Schlittler has been absolutely excellent, and he's been even better on the road. And so we talked about the chip that he plays with and pitches with. I was one of them that I liked being on the road more than at home.
Ground ball to base hit. Real Muto has 2 tonight. It's only the 3rd Philly hit overall. And a man on, the tying run on with 1 out.
I don't like that pitch call, Wade, and I'll tell you why. This is a breaking ball that speeds Real Muto's bat up. He just fouled the ball late. And so all of a sudden you're getting more time to recognize that pitch. He gets his foot down and is able to barrel that baseball.
Schlittler has thrown more curveballs than usual tonight. But that one cost him a base runner. Now Rincones is due up. As the Yankees meet on the mound, that could be to give Brett Hedrick more time in the bullpen. Hedrick is loosening for New York. Right now, Schlittler's road ERA for the season is 1.08. That would be the best in Yankee history by a pretty wide margin. Whitey Ford, the Hall of Famer, had a 1.27 road ERA in 1958 for the Yankees. So Schlittler has that beat right now by 0.2. There's still a number of road starts ahead of him this season. He has to finish this one as well. The batter is Rincones, who has struck out twice tonight. That hit him. It was a glancing blow. Rincones just stood there and got grazed. The first free pass of any sort from Schlittler tonight.
Yeah, overcooking that cutter. It's a glancing blow right above the kneecap. That might be it.
With a 2-strike hit and then a hit batsman, Cam Schlittler leaves with the lead in doubt. It's 1-0 Yankees. The Phillies are threatening in the bottom of the 8th. StatCast powered by Google Cloud, taking us through a terrific performance by Cam Schlitler here tonight.
Looking at being able to have the ability to change eye level, the cutter, the four-seamer, and the sinker at the top of the zone, but too enticing for these Philly hitters, but they still have a big chance right here, finally knocking them out of the ball game, providing some traffic, getting this Philly faithful on their feet.
Well, Brent Hedrick has been absolutely outstanding for the Yankees as Edmundo Sosa swings through the first pitch. Phillies are hoping that Sosa can turn his season around, but this is a tough ask against Hedrick. He loops it toward the left field corner. It's falling. It's foul.
Trying to elongate that swing on that Hendrick off speed. Thought he waited long enough to be able to keep that barrel fair.
Runner at second base, Real Muto. It's Derek Hill now at first base as he is running for Rincones. So the Phillies with first and second, one out. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sosa. Sosa was supposed to be an enforcer for the Phillies from the right side against left-handed pitching. He has not really been that this season. And here's a chance to make up for some of it against the lefty Hedrick with the game on the bases for the Phillies. He tops it toward third, foul. Hedrick has been excellent with inherited runners. A couple other Yankees have as well, Fernando Cruz and Tim Hill. Hedrick's only allowed 1 run in his last 19 appearances. Sosa lines it to right, base hit. Real Muto gets to third. He's held there. The throw comes in from Dominguez. A good throw to the plate as the Phillies load the bases. Sosa, a pinch hit single.
Excellent piece of hitting by Sosa. He's going to allow that baseball to travel deep. Gets the foot down early and doesn't try to be too big with that swing. But the ball was hit too hard, Wayne, and with Dominguez's throwing arm, Real Muto has to hold up at third.
And now with the bases loaded and Trey Turner at the plate, Matt Blake goes to the mound for the Yankees to talk to Hedrick. Cam Schlitler watching that base hit fall. Those are his base runners now at second and third base. Phillies with men on base for the first time tonight, more than one at a time. First opportunities to do some damage and have a big inning. Here's Trey Turner. Rolling 1 foul.
Trey hunting for something up in the zone, elevated, so he can at least drive that ball to the outfield to tie this ball game at least.
And Turner has been on a roll lately. He's out in front of that, and it's 0-2. That sweeper for Hedrick is really similar in some regards to Luzardo. Gets a lot of swings and misses in the same way that Luzardo's does.
Yeah, a lot of depth change down with that deception and arm angle. Along with that split finger, a tough cover.
No balls, 2 strikes. Hedrick's ahead of Turner. Another one in the dirt. This time Turner lays off.
Also, if you're Hendricks, even though you have the tying run on third, you cannot eliminate that off speed down in the zone to try to get Turner to chase.
Hedrick gets a lot of chases and a lot of whiffs with that slider especially. It's tough on right-handers. Bounce that one though, and it's 2-2.
Ooh, a little D-Train special right there. This ball bounce to look like in front of the plate. Good job by Sanchez. Keeping that in front of him.
2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 1 out. Schwarber's on deck. And Turner had a good cut. Mentioned Hedrick has been tougher on right-handers by a pretty wide margin in terms of OPS. They'll have to deal with the lefty next, even if he gets Turner. Bases loaded, 1 out. Phillies threatening in a 1-0 game. And Turner stays alive. Another foul hooked to the left field corner.
Excellent job by Turner, showing the ability to foul off that four-seamer and really covered the off-speed pitches down in the zone.
Hedrick has the 3rd lowest ERA in the majors among relievers, the 2nd most appearances. And Turner is battling him here.
This is a battle of execution, but also mental wit as well. Who will give in?
The starter can't be comfortable watching this.
No, you are not. You are pacing.
2-2. Turner lines it to shallow left. Bellinger's there. He makes the catch. Real Muto will not try to score. Bellinger fired it into the cutoff man. And that's the 2nd out here in the 8th.
I told you Turner was covering that off speed the whole time. Hit it too hard, and Belly's momentum is coming into home plate, and he also has great arm strength. And that's tough ass for your catcher to try to score, especially where that left fielder is playing. That would have been a beautiful one-hop throw, and he'd been thrown out by 20 feet.
And just like Dominguez on the Sosa hit, Real Muto had to hold at 3rd with Dominguez firing it home. Ball 1 to Schwarber. So the Yankee outfield arms have kept Real Muto at 3rd base. He's the tying run. Hill is the go-ahead run at 2nd, and Sosa's at 1st. 2 good throws to the plate from Dominguez and Bellinger. Kyle Schwarber. A foul. That one ricocheted off the catcher Sanchez. The Phillies do tie it or take the lead. They have Duran ready to go in their bullpen. Schwarber, let's be honest, he crushes anyone in sight. Lefty or righty. It's ball 2.
He's not even honoring that pitch. He's going to see Hendrick up in the zone.
33 homers for Schwarber. He's 2nd in the majors. He doubled earlier in the game, and he has a chance to give the Phillies the lead here in the bottom of the 8th. It's been a 1-0 fascinating pitcher's duel here tonight. And now Schwarber with a healthy cut has the count now 2-2.
Yeah, that's what he was looking for, Wayne. Worked himself in a hitter-friendly count, and that was a fastball that was just inner half, just enough.
Ball 3. Schwarber has not shown any signs of chasing that slider.
He's not honoring it. He doesn't believe that he can throw it for a strike, and he will live or die with that situation if he does. But he is hunting and focused on the four-seam fastball right now.
Well, it might be July, but it sounds like October here at the bank. Bases loaded, 2 outs, a full count. And Schwarber taps it to the right side. Caballero gets to it, and the Yankees survive the 8th. What a job by Hedrick. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Charlie Hayes, who caught the final out of the 1996 World Series, which at that point broke a pretty long Yankee drought without a title, at least by their standards. And now they're in another one, trying to win a World Series for the first time since 2009. Going to catch the Rays first in the American League East. Tampa Bay leading Cleveland tonight 6-1. As the Yankees try to lock down a 1-0 lead here in Philly. And it was Brent Hedrick who was tremendous On the ropes in that bottom of the 8th inning with Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber up.
Making pitches when you need to, also relying on that defense behind you. Huge plays if this score holds up.
Phillies defense looks a little different now in the outfield with Edmundo Sosa in left field. Derek Hill takes over in center and Marsh moves to right behind Jose Alvarado on the mound for the Phillies. First at bat for Ryan McMahon tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Alvarado with that power sinker. Anywhere from 97 to 100 miles an hour.
Giving up a lot of hits this year, Alvarado. 44 hits in 36 innings. Normally in the past when he'd gotten in trouble is because of the walks, but this year he's just been hit around. Opponents have hit close to 300. And he almost hit McMahon. In fact, he did. So hit batsman starts the 9th inning.
Yeah, he's trying to go to that slider and it just pops up out of his hand and really get the fingers on top of it.
It's like the Phillies want to ask about
Philadelphia
this.
is challenging the call on the field of a hit by pitch.
These are always hard to overturn because a glancing blow like that, it's hard to tell exactly what happened. It would have to be an obvious miss. And from that replay, it didn't seem too obvious that it missed.
Well, I felt like I heard that.
You can see that sleeve
the
kind of
strap
ruffled.
of the arm guard, that's what you're focusing on.
Yeah, this will at least stand, if not be confirmed outright.
See right there, the elbow guard, a little glancing look.
After review, the hit by pitch call is confirmed. Philadelphia loses their challenge.
So the Yankees get their leadoff man on here in the 9th inning, and now another lefty due up in Bellinger. But Alvarado's ineffectiveness this season really just zooms in the point that the Phillies would like to add to their bullpen as they get to the trade deadline.
Yeah, a lot of key pieces really not having the season that they need to have, especially in the back end. You could not be giving them games.
Tanner Banks is on the IL right now. Brad Keller won't be back. So those two on the shelf. Alvarado has not been good. They need a little bit more to surround Duran in that bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bellinger. Alvarado's job right now is just to not let this game get away. Give the Phillies a fighting chance in the bottom of the 9th against David Bednar, who's been exceptional for the Yankees. Broken bat ground ball. Shoveled to second for 1. Turner to first. Out, a double play.
Nice little cutter, just enough, and stop with the great release, great feed. That's what saved the double play. And Trey showing out that howitzer right over to Bryce Harper.
Just in time. Harper with the stretch for the 2nd out. Now the base is empty with Dominguez at the plate. He had a base hit earlier. Only 7 hits total in this game. Yankees with 3 of them. The Phillies now have 4 after putting up 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Just 1 run on the Paul Goldschmidt home run in the top of the 4th. Line to left. And caught by Sosa to end the inning. It stays 1-0. Phillies will have Harper, Marsh, and Bohm due up in the bottom of the 9th. Best of Goodyear drone cam from tonight's coverage here at Citizens Bank Park. Seen a lot of overhead shots of this ballpark here lately with the All-Star game here last Tuesday. That fireworks display they had around that little Sandlot montage. It was a pretty good show they put on here last Tuesday. It's been a good show tonight. A 1-0 game. It's been exciting for a 1-0 game. David Bednar tries to close it for New York. Bryce Harper leads off and takes ball one. Bednar's been on a 21 2/3 consecutive inning scoreless streak. It's the longest active streak in the majors. It's the longest of Bednar's career. He's basically cut his ERA in half during this streak. It was at 5.14. Now it's at 2.53.
You can tell he's been consistent. He's been attacking the zone and really using that split finger to keep guys off balance, but still has enough velo for you to have to honor it.
This was a trade deadline pickup last year for the Yankees. They added Camilo Doval as well. Yankees were stacking bullpen arms. The Phillies got Duran. The Yankees got Bednar. He's only had 2 blown saves this year. Harper, Marsh, and Bohm, the batters here in the bottom of the 9th in a 1-0 game. Strike 3 called. Harper will challenge.
Pitch is called a strike, batter challenge.
He lost one earlier, but we'll see if he wins this one.
Seems to be very confident that ball's falling off the plate.
He
was very casual.
Powered by T-Mobile.
Wow.
Missed it by that much. A half an inch. Harper stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. This time Bednar gets him.
Nothing you can do with that pitch. The depth change, the way how you tunneled that pitch before. Harper's trying to get that barrel out in front. Excellent pitch by Bednar.
1 out. The batter Brandon Marshall for 3. Hit the ball pretty well his last time, flied out. He hits this one in the air to left. It's pretty deep. Bellinger goes back. He leaps. He's got it.
Man, Wayne, can he go get that baseball with the best of him? It doesn't matter what he's doing offensively. His route running, angles, this ball felt like it turned him around just a hair. Knew where he was to time that jump. And that's why he has that gold patch on his glove.
Might have another one before this year is over. He robs Marsh of extra bases and leaves it up to Alec Bohm with 2 outs and the base is empty in this 1-0 game. The Yankees scored in the 4th on a home run by Goldschmidt. Bohm has grounded out 3 times tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bohm has been swinging the bat well over the last week. 9 hits in his last 5 games, including a couple of home runs. Phillies would love a long one here to even things up. Ground ball. It's McMahon scooping and throwing out Bohm to finish off a 1-0 win for New York. An incredibly well-pitched game. Paul Goldschmidt's homer holds up, and the Yankees beat the Phillies 1-0.
Yeah, the veteran Paul Goldschmidt getting his foot down and hitting an opposite field home run, but Cam Schlittler was absolutely excellent tonight. He had the mound presence, he had the command, not only just with the cutter, but with the 4-seam and the sinker. This was a very fun pitching performance from both sides today.
The 10th Yankee shutout this year. Hands the Phillies only their 8th 1-run loss of the season. The Phillies a major league best 19-7 in 1-run games entering today. But they're on the wrong end tonight. Schlittler was just too good. Goldschmidt took Luzardo deep, and the Yankees with Tampa Bay up 7-1 tonight will at least hold their ground in the American League East.
And saw some really critical defensive plays late, Wayne, and some really good throws from this Yankee outfield.
Phillies trying to catch up in the National League East, 5 back right now. Our PNC plays of the game. Well, you said it, the Yankee outfielders in that bottom of the 8th made it difficult for the Phillies to get home.
And you're talking about JT Realmuto, one of the more athletic catchers in all of baseball, but you look at Dominguez getting behind that throw, he would have been thrown out by 20 feet if you got to send him. You know the arm strength from everybody in that outfield, but this was the game. Line drive to Cody Bellinger. His momentum is coming in there, and all of a sudden you see from the left field side, that throw, and you see the frustration and the opportunity that got away from the home team.
Now Cam Schlittler happy to see the defense come through on a night where he excelled, struck out 12, and he's standing by with Heidi Watney.
Cam, you're the leading candidate for the Cy Young Award, so dominating is no surprise, but you seem to be even better on the road. Does dominating in an opposing ballpark like this fuel you?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Obviously, Philly's loud. Got a good experience of that, last week in the All-Star game, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great environment to pitch in.
12 strikeouts tonight. What was working for you so well to get the swing and miss?
Yeah, again, able to establish the curveball early. I think that allowed me to play off the four seam and the cutter, and then slip the sinker in there late as well.
What about going up against Luzardo? You guys were both throwing up zeros for most of the game. Does that drive you as well?
Yeah, again, he's a great player. They got a great offense as well, so it's gonna be a close game, and I try and keep it as tight as possible.
You rolled your ankle there. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Just fell off a little bit.
All right. What do Yankees need to do right now to go on a run?
I think you just got to take the momentum. Again, great team here, great environment. They've got a good chance to go win the series and get a sweep.
All right, thanks, Cam.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Now, Cam Schlittler could not have been better tonight. He continues to maintain his hold on the Cy Young race in the American League. He was incredible in this 1-0 game. Yankees hold off the Phillies in this one. They win the first of this 3-game series. Should be a lot of fun throughout the weekend here at the bank. And we'll be back to wrap things in. Welcome back. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Verilux Lenses with Dontrell Willis and Heidi Watney. I'm Wayne Randazzo. We're in Philadelphia, and what a game we saw here tonight. Well-pitched game, certainly, between the Yankees and the Phillies. Jesus Luzardo for Philadelphia, Cam Schlittler for New York. A Paul Goldschmidt home run was the only difference in a 1-0 game. Our pregame predictions from BetMGM. Well, the Yankees won. Schlittler dominated. It was not Ben Rice who knocked in the only run. It was Goldschmidt who homered off of Luzardo back in the 4th inning, and the Yankee pitching staff, namely Schlittler, made that hold up. Got a little dicey for them in the 8th inning, but the defense held off the Phillies.
Well, Cam was absolutely outstanding, being able to take the energy out of this stadium. He had the cutter action and obviously the fastball. But Luzardo went toe-to-toe. This was a marquee matchup. I love what I saw from Luzardo. He had a nasty sweeper going, but also had the velo. And you thought we were going to be here all night because nobody was going to score, because you saw people on both sides really throw the baseball well. But this is a ball down in the zone. Paul Goldschmidt, the future Hall of Famer, doing a good job not trying to pull that ball, but hit it from where that ball was come, and that was the swing that ultimately won the ball game for him.
Our cap off the night presented by Blue Moon, and it was Cam Schlittler capping off Phillies hitters all night long.
Cam I am with green eggs and ham. You knew this was a matchup, and that's all he needed was one run tonight. He had the breaking ball that he played off of, but the cutter at the top of the zone was absolutely excellent. He was unhittable until the 8th.
It was in the 8th inning when the Phillies tried to break through against a couple of Yankee relievers. Brett Hedrick was first in after Schlittler left the game. Hedrick battling with Trey Turner, and Schwarber got through them both.
Hedrick trying to slow Schwarber, one of the best power hitters in the game, with that split finger down in the zone, going ultimately with that fastball, getting him to roll over on the ground. The intensity picked up, and you saw the emotion from the Yankee faithful. Big win.
David Bednar closed out. The Yankees beat the Phillies 1-0. The only other time that ever happened, Game 1 of the 1950 World Series. I told you not to forget about that 1950 World Series.
You are a stat guy legend. You got good internet on that laptop. But this was a fun game and got intense at the end. Really fun.
It was a good game. The Yankees win it 1-0. Both teams still certainly in striking distance in their respective divisions. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV is back next week. Another doubleheader. First 8 Eastern, the Silver Boot Series in the Lone Star State, the Rangers and the Astros. Then at 9:30, the Padres try to get right as the trade deadline will be very close then, facing the last place, 4th place, San Francisco Giants. Pre-game coverage from the studio begins a half hour prior to each game. For other scores, highlights, and the latest news from around MLB, check out the Sports tab in the Apple News app. For Dontrell Willis, Heidi Watney, and our great crew, I'm Wayne Randazzo. We say goodnight from Philadelphia, where the Yankees beat the Phillies 1-0. They dunked on them. We'll talk to you again next week.